Hi everyone. Two videos being recorded back to back, different ones. You're on to the second one now. You may have seen my other video where I had a little go in these snowy conditions with my cross climate tyres that I've got on the car. Really impressed with them, brilliant. But I need to have a little talk about another situation that has happened recently to one of my trainee instructors. First of all, I think we're going to have a look at the clip. And this was the 22nd of December, and it was quite early in the morning, and there's just been a little hail shower.
This section of road is the M62 motorway eastbound near Earlham. I'll let you just watch the clip first. Owen was slightly injured, he cut his hand, but apart from that he was very lucky.
Road surface is right here. Shit. You hear the roar?
Look at the speed of impact in the bottom left hand corner.
So the motorways now looks like it's actually closed in both directions, but I don't know if they're on the wrong, I don't know if they're looking for me on the wrong side, so I'm going to ring them back.
The sudden hailstorm had caught 4 drivers out on the eastbound carriageway and 1 driver out on the westbound carriageway. When one of the rescue vehicles came and found Owen, they had to go again because they had to prioritise one guy who was trapped in his car a little touch further.
Because as you can see, there's a police vehicle there and one further back. But I'm gonna ring them now because I'm not sure. I know they're coming. Here they are. They're on the way now. So this is the damage. My beautiful Golf. I think it's safe to say that's written off in it.
Now, there's no point me running a check through Car Vertical on Owen's car. I know Owen's car's written off. Not going to be buying it, but what I'd like to do today with this integration is just give people a little bit of feedback that I received from one of my viewers. You know the services of Car Vertical. If you are thinking of buying a car, if you put your VIN number or registration of the proposed car that you're interested in buying into the Car Vertical website, you get a report produced that gives you an idea of the vehicle's history. And honestly, I thought this comment that someone left on one of my videos was absolutely brilliant. Have a look at this.
And oh, thank you Ashley, you saved me £4,000 with your Car Vertical link. I was minutes away from buying a car and thought about the advice you gave out as it seemed a bit cheap. Clicked your link and the car had £8,000 worth of outstanding finance with 4 years remaining. And that's not the only story. The next one below my reply said this: yeah, I was looking at vans during the summer this year, seen one that meets the specs I wanted, thought I'd best be sure and use Car Vertical and found out the van still had finance left to pay by the owner. What about this one? My partner has been advised to change a car by the garage we use as it won't pass the next MOT without a lot of welding. She saw one she liked, I ran a Car Vertical check on it and it turns out to be written off twice, both times when it was relatively young. The MOT history isn't great either, so we didn't buy it.
So there's a real life scenario that proves why running a Car Vertical check can be a big benefit. You know the score. Use the code Ashley, links are in the description, and you can save yourself 20% on checking out your next car. But it's really nice to hear some real life stories of things that I plug and their benefits. Remember, I wouldn't plug anything if I wouldn't use it myself. I'd just like to say a massive thanks to Car Vertical for their support in helping me make our roads safer. Cheers. For the members of my channel, you will probably know Owen. Owen's a trainee driving instructor who I'm teaching. He's doing a cracking job with it, to be honest. But how did he get himself into that situation? And the car, pretty obviously, was a write-off. He hit the tree at around 50 miles an hour, which caused a fair bit of damage, as you can see. But how did he get himself into that situation? Owen is a very good driver. The training for part 2, the driving side of the instructor qualification, is pretty difficult. And people on average usually take 12 to 15 hours, something like that. Owen took 6. He was very good. Passed first time, no issues whatsoever. But how did he get himself into that situation? Well, did you notice the speed coming into the scenario just before he crashed? It kept pretty steady. And I actually think he had cruise control on. Now, I don't think this is something that enough people know about. It doesn't, and it's not going to happen that often. But there is a danger with cruise control in conditions like this, and we've seen with Owen in the crash that he had. It does advise, even in the manual of this car, do not use cruise control in slippy or icy conditions. These tyres are bosh, you know. You're going to have the confidence to go round that mini roundabout still, rather than just going over the top of it. In any case, going back to the cruise control, yeah, it even says in the manual of this car, don't use cruise control in these type of conditions. And honestly, there's nothing online that tells people why. I've delved and I've delved and I've delved, and it's just people just blankly going, no, shouldn't use it. But I want to try and give people a little bit more understanding on why and how Owen's crash happened, because if it could catch Owen out, honestly, it can catch absolutely anyone. Now, cruise control, most of you, I'm sure you know what it does. It keeps a steady speed. It keeps the car going at a set speed. And I learned this little bit about what I'm going to talk about from doing a Porsche driving experience at Silverstone. When you buy a Porsche, you get to go off and drive the car that you've purchased, not the actual car, but Porsche provide the same make and model. And they go and take you through a handling track, an accelerating track, a braking track. There's all sorts of brilliant stuff there. It's not my car, by the way. I was taken as a guest. I did ask to film it, but they wouldn't let me. But the bit that I'm talking about is they have what they call a kick plate. It's like a metal plate, I think it's metal, that you drive over that kicks the back of your car out one way or the other onto a skiddy road surface. And this road surface simulates wet snow or wet ice. And what actually happened, I need to talk about this story. I went and did this, first time I did it, the back of the car just kicks out, spun me round. And the people who you have next to you, they are driving instructors, but they've got a race car background as well. And my instructor, good as gold, he knew what I did. Spun round first time, and he went, you bloody driving instructors with this pull-push shite. He said, cross your hands, it's much quicker. No problems. I love that bluntness as well, that he just told it straight. Superb. And he did say it in that term. He wasn't being nasty, he was being lovely. But had another go. Car still spun the second time, but it was better. And he got me thinking about the balance of the car. He said, why did the car spin? Oh, me steering. He said, yeah, your steering was okay that time, but think about the weight of the car, Ash. What did you do as soon as you went into the skid? And I went, I came off the gas. He said, what did the weight do of the car? Pitches forward. So you think you're in a rear wheel skid and you pitch the weight forward of the vehicle, it's just going to make that skid even worse, and it rotates. So effectively, to get the car fixed and sorted with this skid plate on this Porsche Experience, I was driving a 670 horsepower four-wheel drive vehicle, unbelievable. What you have to do is keep your car steady with the gas, just keep your foot on the gas exactly how it is, steer and fix it, and then back off and slowly brake. And that's how you stop it from rotating and spinning. Now, going back to Owen's scenario, you think of cruise control. Cruise control is trying to keep the car at that 70 miles an hour in Owen's situation. And as soon as he veered off to the right slightly, and he did because of the lorry, he got his wheels on the slippy stuff in lane 4, because we could see lane 3 sort of like had tracks similar to what I've just been driving in, although it was a hailstorm, it wasn't like the snow that we've got today. But Owen got his wheels on the slippy stuff to the right. I think with cruise control on, Owen couldn't actually remember, but as soon as the car went into a slide, you think on what the cruise control's going to do. Now, I'll give you two different scenarios. If he went on that slippy stuff and the wheels slowed down, may do, may not do, not sure in that exact situation, cruise control is going to increase the power, and that's going to make the skid worse as well. But what if, and this is what I think probably happened, as he got onto the slippy stuff here, got to be super careful, just keeping everything nice and straight, because I had to put my wheels on that slippy stuff again, but my cross climates will sort that out, no bothers. But yeah, as soon as he put his wheels on that slippy stuff to the right, I think potentially the wheels started to spin and go faster. And what will happen with the cruise control? Well, it will realise that the car's wheels going too quick, because there's wheel speed sensors all the way around, and it will reduce. And it would be no different than the story I've just talked to you about the Porsche Experience. It will just lift off. And it might have been that little lift off that just induces that skid, rotates, and end up putting Owen into a tree at 50 miles an hour. So that is the main reason for what I'm doing today. All right, I've been out and had a little go in the snowy conditions, as I've said. Hope you enjoyed that video if you tuned in. If you didn't see it, please tune in and go and give it a little watch, because it's very interesting, I think. But this one's even more important, because I don't think there's many people who actually realise what could happen with the cruise control in these conditions. So if you're driving even in wet weather, even if there's standing water, you could have the same scenario. Don't use cruise control, autopilot in your Tesla, whatever car that you drive. Most of them nowadays have got cruise control. A lot of them have got adaptive cruise control. Not actually sure to the extent how adaptive cruise, would work in these conditions. But have a look in your manual. I still think it would do exactly the same, because if there's nothing in front of you, it's still either going to speed up or slow down, which could, if at the time of that slide and that start of a spin, it's going to unbalance your car. So don't use cruise in these conditions. Owen's car was completely written off. It's obviously a his fault accident, even though he had not much to do with it. He could have done a better job if, only if, I'd have told him about not using cruise control in these conditions, because I honestly don't think I did. So I do feel really, really bad. But we'll take the positives. Let's see how many people we can get this message out to now to stop them getting into the same situation. To finish though, sorry Owen, I've got to do this, mate. I've just got to show everyone a little piece of footage that you sent me in a few months prior about people driving in these conditions and end up sliding off the road into a tree. Keep safe, everyone. I'll see you soon.
Somebody's gone around the corner too quick.
Oh, bad start to the day, huh?
That's what happens when you're not careful in this.
Video protected.